All right, guys, it's me. The lesson that I'm going to be talking about today is triangles and names of triangles. Talking about angles a little bit, talking about sides a little bit, just giving you some examples of some things that we've talked about in class before. Remember, we've done triangles all year as part of the back wall. So a lot of this is going to be review. Now there is going to be some new parts to these, and I'm going to go over those. This is going to be a pretty long video. This video is going to cover all of 16.1. Now, this particular video, I'm not giving question examples. I'm going to be doing a video tomorrow on different questions and how to solve them, but today is basically just going to be an overview of triangles. I'm going to do some drawings the best I can. We're going to talk about some angles. We're going to go over some things, and then that's going to be about it. So hopefully this video will help you. Remember, when we're talking about triangles, we do angles and sides. And remember, acute triangles have, when you label a triangle acute, that means that all three angles have to be acute. Okay, so I'm putting that number 3 in there. When you're doing an obtuse triangle, you only have one angle that's obtuse, and when you're doing a right triangle, there's only one angle that's right. Okay, so an example of an acute triangle would be like this, because all the angles are less than 90 degrees. If I do an obtuse triangle, now you're gonna have to excuse my drawings because I'm doing the best I can. Okay, this angle right here is obtuse. Okay, and so when you have one angle that's obtuse, the triangle is obtuse. The same thing with a right, one angle is right. If you go back up to the top one, all of these angles are acute. Okay, so to have an acute triangle, you have to have all angles, all have to be acute. To have an obtuse triangle, only one angle has to be obtuse. And to be a right triangle, one of the angles has to be a right angle. Okay, super easy to remember. And you can use this to help you. So when you're doing your lessons or whatever, keep this page up, or just copy this page when I'm done, and then you'll have it for your notes. Okay, the next is, okay, when you see this, okay, that means that all the sides are the same. It could also say 8 centimeters, 8 centimeters, 8 centimeters. It also could say, it also could say 2.3 centimeters, 2.3 centimeters, 2.3 centimeters. Don't pay attention to specifically the numbers and how they are, whether it's fractions or decimals or whole numbers. Just pay attention to, are they all the same? If they're all the same, then you have the equilateral triangle. Okay? Then the next one is scalene. Scalene is when they're all different. So this one could be 2.3, this one could be 4.6, and this one could be 6.3. Okay. Remember, they're going to try to give you decimals as numbers. They're going to give you fractions as numbers. It doesn't matter. This could be 1.5. This could be 2 and 1/3, and this could be 3/4, something like that. Here, all the sides are different. So when all the sides are different, you have a scalene triangle. Okay, and then the last one is isosceles. Isosceles are when you have two sides the same. Remember, you have two eyes, right? So think of isosceles as eyes, as you have two sides that are the same. You have two eyes that are same, isosceles. Okay, so your numbers here could be 2, 2, and 1. Okay, they could also be 3.4, 3.4, and they could be 2.3. Doesn't matter, as long as you have two sides that are the same, then you have an isosceles triangle. Okay, super easy. Now remember, they have two names. You're always going to have to identify both names. Okay, make sure that you understand this part here. I'm going to go on to the next page. This page, okay, I'm going to go back to here. Sides that are all different, okay, are going to be the scalene triangle. It's going to be this one that we talked about right here. Page, it says two sides that are the same. Here's my eyes, isosceles, okay, and two sides that are the same, we know that we have two eyes are the same, so we're going to do isosceles, okay? And I'm going to be going back and forth a little bit. So I'm going to just do some drawings here, and we're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to get into something that we have not gone to, and that's what degrees of angles are in a triangle. So the first thing I'm going to give you is, I'm just going to go ahead and draw a random triangle. Okay, and I'm going to label these 3.5 centimeters. We'll go 4.3 centimeters, and this one is going to be 5.4 centimeters. Okay. Now, so I have everything I need here. Okay. If I go back and forth quite a bit here. Okay. So if you look, it says 4.3 centimeters, 3.5. That means they're all different. So, okay. So this is a scalene triangle. It also is going to be, if I look at my angles, I know that this is 90 degrees, which is a right angle. Right? So this is going to be called a right scalene triangle. Remember, first, middle, last. First, middle, last. The first is always the angles, the second is the sides, and triangle is the last name. Okay? Let's do another one. Previous. Okay? Now, okay, so if I look at this triangle, I know that I have two sides that are the same and one that's different. So if I go back to my, okay, so I know that this one's going to be isosceles, right? And then I'm going to look at my angles. I don't have any right angles, and I don't have any open angles. No matter how you describe each angle, okay, not all these angles are all closed angles, okay? They all make a Pac-Man. If you look at my circles that I drew here, they kind of look like a chomping Pac-Man, okay? And the Pac-Man's mouth is more open or more closed than it is open. So when that is occurring, it doesn't matter what direction is. If this part right here, okay, that I'm drawing gives you that shape, okay, of a closed mouth, all the angles are acute. So this is going to be an acute isosceles triangle. Okay. Let's do a couple more. Next one. Okay, so here I have, let's say this one is 3 feet. We'll say this one is 8 feet. And we'll say this is 10 feet. So I know that all the sides are different. So when that happens, I'm talking about a scalene triangle. And then look at my angles. Here I have a closed angle. Here I have another closed angle. And here I have an open angle. So an open angle is going to be called obtuse. So this is called an obtuse scalene triangle. Remember, when we're doing obtuse, we only need to have one angle that's obtuse. As soon as we identify that one angle being obtuse, we know that is an obtuse triangle. Now I can go over different combinations of tons of these, but you get the gist of it. You got to come up with two based upon their angles and sides, and then obviously the last name is triangle. We'll do one more example, and then I'm going to start talking about angles inside. Okay, so look at this one. Okay, you can identify that this one has two sides that are the same right away. And we go back to that first page. Okay, and these are my two sides. And I also can identify that that is a right angle. And remember, right angles are 90 degrees. Sometimes they're going to give you the box. Sometimes they're going to put the angles inside and they'll put 90 degrees, and you have to know that that's a right. So this is going to be a right isosceles triangle. Okay. Now let's go to the next part here is this is going to be something a little bit new. It's not hard, but it's new. So what they're going to do, some questions, is they're going to give you the interior angles. Like this, okay? And then they'll give you this. Something like that. And they're going to ask you what type of triangle this is. Okay, well, in every single triangle, there is 180 degrees inside. And I'm going to show you how that is true. So in this angle right here, in this triangle right here, I have 90 and 45. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add those up. 90 plus 45 gives me 135. So this is the first angle, this is the second angle. I need to find out what the third angle is. Okay, so I'm going to take 180, which is my total, and then I'm subtract it from 135. .45 degrees. Okay. If I know that two angles are the same, then I also know that the two sides are the same. Okay, and these are the two sides that are the same. If I have one side that's different, I know I'm going to have one side that's, or one angle that's different, I'm going to know I'm going to have one side that's different. If the angles are if you have two angles that are the same, you're going to have two sides the same. If you have three angles the same, you're going to have three sides the same. That's one great thing about triangles. So based upon this and all the data that I just did, we should be able to name this triangle. It's giving you that 90 degrees, so we know it's right. We have two angles that are the same, So we have two sides that are the same automatically, and we know that two sides that are the same are called isosceles. So based upon this drawing and based upon everything I did, I should be able to identify this as a right isosceles triangle. Every triangle has 180 degrees when I add up all the three angles. Okay, let's do another example. This is a really bad triangle, but we're going to leave it. Let's go ahead and erase the squiggly line I left. Okay, it's a little better. Okay, so on a triangle like this, they're going to give you some angles. That's 110, and we'll say that this is 35. Okay, now we know that 90 degrees is a right. Okay, we know that greater than 90 degrees we know anything greater than 90 degrees, okay, is open, so that's obtuse. We know anything less than 90 degrees is acute. So if I look at this right away, even though they're not giving me the other side, I know that this is going to be an obtuse triangle. And why I know that is because, remember, it only takes one obtuse angle for it to be an obtuse. Okay? So just to see what that missing angle is, just to make sure, 110 plus 35 is going to give me 145. Okay. Then we know that the total amount of angle in a triangle is 180 degrees. So then I'm going to go 180 minus 145. Okay, I'm going to subtract these up, and I have 35. So this is 35. So once I find that, I know I got two things going on here. Okay, I have two angles that are the same. So I have two sides that are the same. I have one obtuse angle. So this would be an obtuse, isosceles. I'm not doing a very good job of spelling. This would be an obtuse isosceles triangle. Okay. So try to get the two going. Try to identify that angle first. Try to find that biggest angle. If whatever the biggest angle is, it's going to tell you. If that biggest angle is less than or greater than 90, it's going to tell you. If it is 90, then you know it's right. They might give you 35 and 35, and then you have to figure out the 110. Okay, it's going to be up to you. What steps you want to do to try to solve it. Okay, we'll do one more. And at least this will give you kind of the bits and pieces of some of the things you need to know. And then I'll submit another video tomorrow with some of the buddy practice questions on there, as well as just some additional practice questions on there. Okay, I already picked out the quick check and modified all the lessons, so it shouldn't be that hard to do. Okay, so if you look at this next beautiful triangle I made, okay, this is 60 degrees. Okay, and if this is 60, then this is 60, then this is 60 degrees. Okay, if you have one angle that's 60, all the angles are going to be 60. And we know that 60 plus 60 plus 60 gives me 180. Or I can do 60 times 3 gives me 180. And we know that all the angles in a triangle have to equal 180 degrees. Okay, so when I have an angle like this, I know that if I have 3 angles that are the same, then I also have 3 sides that are the same. If I have 3 sides that are the same, and they give me the 3 sides, I know that I have 3 angles that are the same. So this one is an acute, because if I identify the 60, that 60 is less than 90, so 60 degrees is less than 90 degrees. And when 60 is less than 90, it's acute. Okay. So, and then if I have all 60-degree angles, and I know all my sides are also going to be the same. So this is an acute equilateral triangle. Okay. Right. So just as a quick little summary, okay. Acute angles, right, have all acute. All the angles are going to be less than 90 degrees. Okay? And remember, when you have an acute triangle, you're going to have 3 angles. 3 acute angles. Okay? Super important. Okay? Obtuse. You're going to be 1 obtuse. It's going to be greater than 90 degrees. Okay? Super important. And so let's say 91 degrees is an obtuse angle. Okay? 89 degrees would be an acute angle. So then a right angle is going to be 90 degrees exactly. Right? And you only need 1 right angle. Okay, so 1 right angle makes it a right angle or a right triangle. 3 acute angles make it acute. 1 obtuse angle makes it obtuse. And remember, all triangles, all the angles in the triangles add up to 180 degrees. Okay? Super easy to remember. Okay. As far as sides go, okay? Isosceles. Remember, talking about eyes. We got 2 sides the same. Scalene. Okay? Scalene has no sides the same, or no congruent sides. And then the last one is right. And a right, sorry, not right. Equilateral, sorry. Equilateral has all the same sides. And remember, in an equilateral triangle, they're all going to look like this. Okay? And remember, when all the sides are the same, all the angles are going to be the same. So in this isosceles triangle, you're going to have 2 sides the same. You're also going to have 2 angles the same. Your scalene triangle, you're going to have no sides the same. You're also going to have no angles the same. And your equilateral triangle has the same sides and angles. Okay? So just a quick overview of everything. I know it's a lot, but we've been doing this all year, so this should be at review at the very least. None of this information should be new that I'm presenting to you. So let's make sure that we're getting these lessons done and that we're watching these videos. It's super important. There are 2 weeks left of e-learning. The last week is going to be for anybody that has not finished their work. So you got this week and you have next week, and next week's going to be on quadrilateral, which is also stuff we've done before. So please make sure you get this done. Please make sure you stay on top of your science work as well. And most importantly, be safe. We'll see you guys tomorrow during Zoom. Bye.